Hi class, welcome back. I am going to review yesterday's lesson. So if you need it for today's assignments, here it is. And you can watch it as many times as you want, and you can stop me as many times as you want, and you can go at your own pace. That way you don't have to wait for your classmates or anything else. So this is a beautiful thing. All right, let's continue. Yesterday we learned or reviewed how to add integers with common signs. So I'm going to write that. We learned how to add integers with common signs. Okay, and we talked about how integers are just numbers that either have a negative or a positive value, and the word common is just another word for the word same. Okay, and then we talked about the 3 different strategies that would help us add integers with common signs. So we learned 3 different strategies. The first one is by using colored counters. Remember this? We said that yellow means positive, and we said that red means negative. So that's the colored counters. We also learned how to add integers with common signs by using, by using a number line. And a number line, remember, it goes forever in both directions, but we are just focusing on a little snapshot of it. So let's say that you started at -3 and you needed to add 4 more, then you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's how you used a number line to add integers with common signs. And the third strategy we used was finding the absolute value of the integers that we were adding. And we talked about how the absolute value is just the distance, and distance doesn't have a negative or a positive sign. A distance is just the number of steps it takes you to go somewhere, or the miles that you traveled, or on our number lines, it's the number of jumps it takes that number to get back to 0, right? So yes, those are the 3 different strategies that we used yesterday. And yesterday on the first page is using colored counters to add and subtract. And like I said, yellow means positive, red means negative. And the way this one works is you are using 3 yellow counters and 4 more yellow counters. You count them all together, you get your answer, and if all of your counters are yellow, that means your answer is positive. Similarly, if you have 5 negatives or 5 reds and you get 3 more negatives or 3 more reds, you get a total of 8 reds or 8 negatives. So if all of your counters are red, that means your answer is negative. We also worked a little bit on this page, and we were using the number line to find the answer to this question. And remember, we saw the temperature at -2 degrees Fahrenheit below 0. So here's 0, we have to be below. Then after that, the temperature dropped by 5 degrees Fahrenheit, and we needed to find the new temperature, right? So we had to use the number line, and then there's this other number line on the side that we can also use. So we start at -2 and we jump down 5 times because the temperature dropped 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be -7. That would be our answer. Then we didn't get to these questions, so this is something that you have to work on today. Reflect number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, let me read the questions to you. So number 2, what if? Suppose the temperature is -1 degree Fahrenheit and drops by 3 degree Fahrenheit. Explain how to use the number line to find the new temperature. So again, you have to draw a number line and find the new temperature. It's very similar to what we did up here. Number 3, communicate mathematical ideas. How would using a number line to find the sum 2 plus 5 be different from using a number line to find the sum -2 plus -5? Again, you have to use a number line to find the positive integers, and you have to use another number line to find the sum of the negative integers. And then you have to compare how using both of those number lines is different. For number 4, analyze relationships. What are 2 other negative integers that have the same sum as -2 and -5? First, think. What can you do to find the sum of these 2 integers? Once you have that sum, you have to find other 2 negative integers that have the same sum. Okay? And the last strategy was absolute value. Remember that absolute value means finding just a distance, and distance doesn't have a negative or a positive value. It's just a distance. We didn't get to this question, but it's about the commutative property of addition. If you don't know what the commutative property of addition is, it's just basically saying that, is this true? Is 2 plus 3 the same thing as 3 plus 2? Is this true? Well, if you do the math, you will find out that it is true. This is 5, which is the same thing as another 5. So the commutative property of addition states that it doesn't matter which addends you add first. It doesn't matter which addends you add first. If you do 2 first and then 3, or if you do 3 first and then 2, you will get the same answer. Now, this property is only true for addition and multiplication. It is not true for division or subtraction. Okay, so now that you have a quick reminder of what that property is, then the question is asking if that property can be applied when you add 2 negative integers. For example, is this true? Is -7 plus -6 the same thing as having -6 plus -7. Is that true? Okay, let me know. And then, so this is another question that you have to answer. Okay, and this one as well, critical thinking. Choose any two negative integers. Is the sum of the integers less than or greater than the value of either of the integers? Will this be true with integer, no matter which integers you choose? Explain. Let me say it in a different way. So for example, it could be they want you to choose any two negative integers. So for example, if you add -4 and -3, when you find the sum, will that be greater than any of these two? Or would it be less? And once you find that answer, you have to tell me, will this be true no matter which integers you choose? Again, find the sum, and will that sum be less than 4, less than 3, greater than 4, or greater than 3? Once you find the answer to that, let me know if that will be true no matter which integers you choose. And then also work on finding the sum. You can use the absolute value for that. For the next one, again, for the first part, for questions 1 and 2, you use counters. So you have -5, here 5, then you have -1, here it is. You put them together, and then if you have, remember, negative is red and yellow is positive. For the next part, numbers 3 to 8, you have to use the number line. Okay, so for example, this one starts at -5, so I'm going to start at -5, and I have to add 2 negatives. So I have -5, and then I get 2 more negatives. So 1, 2 more negatives. So therefore my answer is -7. And the last part, find the sum. That is by using absolute value. And remember, the absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of 4 is 4. Together they make a 9. But the answer is -9 because both of the numbers are negative. How do you add integers with the same sign? You have 3 strategies to choose from to explain that answer.